Welcome back to Talking Lead. This is episode 70. How's it going, Left Hand?
It's going good, man. We've reached a milestone.
We have. 70th episode.
70, and we've got a super-duper surprise for our 70th episode.
Yeah. A surprise that just came to be about, what, 2 days ago?
Well, it's been in the works for a little bit.
No, it has. We've had a pretty interesting couple weeks in guns.
Yeah, this is really our first recording since NRA. Mm-hmm. And we've done quite a bit. Yeah. So
today was one of the coolest.
Today was very cool. Well, today and then the other day.
Yeah.
We're splicing it all.
We did it all in one day.
We're splicing it all in to make it look like one day. So we went to Maximus Arms in Franklin, Tennessee. They make 1911s.
Custom 1911s.
I was going to say custom, yeah, because they are. I mean, they make them from scratch, from the ground up, which was cool. So that's what our video is going to be about. It's
going to be like a how it's made type video.
Right. So we go to the foundry from the pouring of the metal into the molds to
making the molds.
Yeah, even making the molds. So, yeah, it's going to be a very cool video.
And I get to make one myself.
Yes, you do.
Or I attempt.
You attempt
to.
So you guys keep an eye out for that video. But then we're going to get to shoot one, too.
Yeah. Well.
And it's a nice one. Mm-hmm. It's really nice.
And then you got to do something that I didn't get to do. I had to work, but
I did. It was awesome. I was very glad to have the opportunity to do it. I didn't get to do the full class, but I did get to take in one day of it. So I got to go to Knoxville. Rob Pincus was in Knoxville doing his PDN training, defensive
handgun, right?
Yeah, defensive handgun. And I needed it. I haven't taken a class or a course in a while. So
it's Jaegers, right?
No, we've done a couple things since then, haven't we?
Not a full class though.
Yeah. That's probably like the last full one, but really needed it. It was a neat course. What was really cool about it was we got to. It was a mixed class between civilians and cops, police officers. So that was really cool because you got to see perspective from trained professionals and them going through and them learning and taking on pointers from Rob as well. So that made it very a real I don't know,
class.
No, I mean it's just an experience. I mean it was a real experience. So you get their take on how they do things in the real world,
right?
And the applications that they're using this training for, versus how us as civilians would typically use it for.
What's the biggest thing you took from that class?
Just getting my fundamentals back is what it was, because my trigger pull went to
really.
I mean, even working with the CERT, the recoil was
kind of throwing
it off. I mean, my trigger control was good, I guess, but my mechanics as far as going with, I was pulling everything left.
Yeah, and
I think it might be my sight. I was using the Glock 17, and after about 2 or 3 magazines, I was putting the sights on the same spot every time, and I would have a perfect group to the left of where I was shooting. So I think it's probably my sights. I think I might need to get my sights adjusted a little bit, but as I got into the class, they were getting a little closer over. So I don't know if I was consciously compensating for that or if my mechanics were getting a little better.
I tell you what, shooting is just like any other sport, whether you consider it a sport for sport shooting or defensive shooting. When you don't do it for a while, it goes quick. It's kind of like when you go to shoot a basketball after you hadn't shot in 6-7 months, you feel like you've never shot one in your life. It's like, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
With the shooting, when we shot my 30 the other night with Rob, that's the first time I'd shot it in probably 2 months.
Yeah.
And I regretted it because I felt like I'd never shot it before. Yeah. My grip was off. It was jumping out of my hand.
You got to go out and you got to shoot. You got to do it consistently.
Repetition.
And I've been doing it. I've been shooting, but I haven't done it with the elevated heart rate. He's got this one awesome what do you call those? He's got this awesome drill where he really gets the heart rate up. Is you're kind of like running lines in basketball. You know how you do that?
Yeah.
Well, he's got like 3 different distances that you shoot from and you're running back and forth. So he'll go to the front, go to the middle, go to the back, and until he gives the fire command. So you don't know when he's going to do it. So he keeps telling you to go, different spots. You never know he's going to say, the shoot command. Mm-hmm. But once he does that, then you're supposed to stop and do your stuff and then shoot. Mm-hmm. So it's just, to me, it was like running lines in basketball, but it really gets your heart elevated, gets that adrenaline flow going. So it recreates the
tunnel vision.
Yeah, the tunnel vision and the elevated heart rate and controlling your breathing and all that. So that was probably one of the coolest. Now, I missed out on what he calls the figure eight, and that's where he had some barrels set up and then different targets, and they've got different numbers and letters and things like that on it. So what you're doing is you're walking like a figure eight, just kind of walking around, meandering around until he gives the command, but he'll call out like a number or he'll call out a letter or whatever's on these targets.
And that's what you got to shoot.
And then you've got to go find it.
Oh, wow.
You've got to find it because there's, 8 or 10 targets set up, staggered, and some of them might have 2 of the same numbers. So once you find it, you've got to keep looking around. So it's a real world, where you're assessing the situation and seeing if there's any additional threats. So that was one I missed out because I ran out of ammo. I took about 400 rounds.
And you ran out, and that was just one day.
Yeah, and I didn't even do the full course.
Wow.
And I ran out of ammo, but it was good to get out there and take on some more training and fundamentals. So I enjoyed that.
Sweet. And if you want to train with him, make sure you go to icetraining.us.
Right, and he's got a new book out also.
Mm-hmm. Defend Yourself.
Yeah, so like Zeke said, it's called Defend Yourself. And you can go to the ICE training website and get that as well. I think you can get it on Amazon as well. You can go there. And I think there might be like one of those
ebooks,
Kindle, whatever it's called. Yep. You can download on your Kindle and stuff like that. But I just started reading that. Got through the first 4 chapters of that, and it's really good. It's basically home defense, how to stage and set up and get prepared, and
gotcha.
What you do after, the fact. So it's a good book. You should get that and read that.
And then, of course, the other thing we did with guns, we went to NRA.
Right, and I think most people know that by now.
Mm-hmm.
And we're getting a lot of after the show kind of stuff that we've been maintaining these last couple of weeks, was why we hadn't had time to do the show.
Holy cow. Editing all that, so many different clips and shows that has been, yeah.
Yeah. I've offered to help in the past, and you always take it on yourself. So I think
I won't.
I think I'm going to be editing this show, though. Right?
Today I won't.
From what I hear,
we got some more big interviews coming up.
We recently were given an award.
Yeah, or recognition.
Yeah, we were recognized for our work on the Fraternal Order of Police Heroes Behind the Badge fundraiser.
We were honored. Very humbling.
Yeah, we were very honored to receive that recognition. And we want to thank Jay and David and
the Wilson County Sheriff and the Chief of Mount Juliet and Lebanon Police Departments. Both those chiefs.
Yeah.
Not just one.
When we get some pictures of those, we'll post those up to our Facebook page. So that's been a pretty busy couple of weeks, and we got some more coming up. So stay tuned.
And now we've got an interview that's kind of like a lost interview from NRA that I found. We're back from NRA. If you listen to the 3rd episode of the NRA interviews, there was one interview that was a little wonky. Something had happened to our mixing board, and we apologize for that.
We were sabotaged.
Yeah, we've got a couple of other interviews that we're going to try to throw in. One of them you're about to hear right now with Chad Enos from Kel-Tec.
Good buddy Chad.
Yeah, kind of a lost episode from NRA, lost interview.
Yeah, and look for more to come from Chad as well.
Yeah, we're going to be doing something with him at the end of the month.
Yep.
And that's kind of a top secret, super secret.
And some more stuff, too.
Thing. So, without further ado, here's the interview with Chad.
Yeah, I will pimp you guys out like crazy.
Sweet.
Yeah.
We like getting pimped. Wait a minute.
You guys are pimps.
With the hair. You should have seen us yesterday. Oh, you did see us yesterday with our suits on. We get a little like pimps.
Yeah. I was like, who let the Allman Brothers in here?
I told you. Did I not tell you?
You used to play an instrument, didn't you?
Yeah.
What'd you play?
I dabbled with guitar. Probably the one I took the longest was drums.
Oh,
But
cool.
when I was in a band, I was the singer.
Drummer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Metal?
No.
Dang. Oh.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we could start a little gun like rock band.
Folks.
Metal back
folksy.
when Motley Crue was cool. That was,
But that was cool to me
Yeah.
back then.
yeah. And new metal
Back in
now,
the
though, I
day.
can't keep up with these kids, man. They're
Like
crazy.
Slipknot and
Yeah.
all those.
Yeah, there's like 15-year-old drummers
Slipknot.
playing, like blowing your mind. I can't keep up with that anymore.
Oh,
so.
especially being a drummer, dude.
Yeah.
Slipknot
It's crazy.
with the 3 drummers in the band, it's insane. Like
Yeah.
you would actually probably get into them if you appreciated the drum.
No, I
side
like
of
the
it.
music.
Yeah.
I just can't play it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, give me some country shuffle. I can play that,
Yeah.
till the cows come. Yeah,
Little 2 beat.
yeah. Charlie Watts is one of my, heroes. So
Cool.
nice and
Nice.
simple. Yeah.
Are we recording?
Yeah, we're recording.
Okay, good.
Oh, cool. I'm straggling. I'm hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a straggler.
So you made mention that you'd been in a couple of competitions.
Yes, we have a
when
shooting
we had
team.
Max and Michelle on. So tell us about your shooting team.
Yeah, it's called the Keltec Shooting Team. Shocker. And there's 4 of us. We're running. We've got a new working prototype out called the RDB, which is it stands for Rifle Downward Ejecting Bullpup. It's chambered in 5.56. So
Is that the one we shot at shot?
No, we
that
saw
was
it.
the RFB.
We saw it there,
RFB,
but we
yeah.
didn't.
Yes.
We didn't shoot it. They didn't have it out at the range.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, anybody familiar with the RFB? It's kind of a 5.56 version of the RFB, but much lighter, and the operating system's different.
Okay.
But so if you're familiar with that, it's you can kind of get a visual of what
Right.
it looks like.
Okay.
But
Did it come
you'll
with
be-
wood furniture too?
It does, yeah. The
That was
M43 version, yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty neat. It's kind of like a AK throwback,
Oh, wow.
sort of. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty
it was
neat.
cool. I liked it.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we're running that, and half the team runs Glock 34s, and the other half runs MMP
So you're
Pros.
actually using
Right.
those in the competition.
Oh yeah,
So
they're working prototypes, and we're out there to try to break them, let them know what we like and dislike
So
about
you're
it.
giving them real world tests.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah. And so far, it's been
So
awesome.
you're putting your competition reputation on the
absolutely
on the line with
absolutely.
these things. That's
yeah.
cool. That
We've been
says a lot.
shooting some major matches with them and doing pretty well with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
it's-
you're doing 3-gun.
yeah, 3-gun.
Also?
Yep.
So what are your 3 guns that you're using?
I just picked up a JM 930 for my shotgun. I've been running the KSG, and I'll run the KSG in the heavy division because it's pump action, and then I'll run a 45 of some kind, and then I'll run the RFB. Love doing that. But for TAC Ops, it's really difficult to compete if you run a pump action because you're running against a bunch of guys running semi-auto, and they're just
sure.
shredding stages.
Yeah.
And they say, any 3-gunner will tell you, a shotgun's never going to win you a match, but it'll always lose you a match. So
wow.
you got to get those loads down, and you got to be you got to be on with it. So. Yeah, and then the RDB we've been running now, and then like I said, I'll run the Glock 34 for 9mm.
Sure.
So,
Cool.
Yep.
I'm in love with the Keltec Sub 2000.
Okay.
I have this.
It's well known.
Infatuation. Yeah, it's well
known, and we're both drooling over getting KSGs. So
Yeah, we haven't got the KSG yet, but we're
Okay.
we're headed that direction to pick up one of those too.
especially now that Red Jacket did a suppressor for it, that
I can't wait to run that. Yeah.
But yeah, we saw it at SHOT Show and it was just unbelievable, man.
Yeah,
That thing
it's
was-
phenomenal.
It
Yeah,
adds a
it's
whole
sick.
other dimension as far as aesthetics to the KSG,
sure does.
and then of course usability.
Yeah,
that it's adding to
absolutely.
it.
Yeah, George is a really smart guy, and he's constantly pushing the envelope. And I mean, anybody can make an AR. Obviously, you
Yeah.
look around. There's ARs everywhere, and there's some beautiful ARs. Not throwing ARs down or anything, but
No.
George, he's an innovator. He comes up with different stuff, and he puts his name on the line. And he goes out on a limb and comes up with this crazy stuff, and then they build it, we take it out and shoot it, and we're like, this thing's awesome. Like, if you looked at it on paper, you'd think the
Yeah.
guy's crazy, but then once it's, come to fruition, you take it out and you shoot it, it's like, okay, now, I get it. I see where
And-
it's hard to get into his head until you actually have it in your
Doesn't
hand.
he have like an aerospace engineering background?
Negative.
No,
No.
okay,
No. And
all
that's,
the rumors. And
there's a lot of rumors, yeah. Yeah, George's fascination with firearms came, he's he joined the military when he was a kid. And rumor has it that when he and his brother were issued their sidearms, the first thing he did was go back to the barracks and pull the things apart down to the springs to see how it worked and put them
Right.
back together.
Yeah.
And he's had a fascination with firearms ever since.
That's where it started. Huh?
Yep. Yeah.
How about you? How did you get into firearms originally?
Starting to work, heavily into firearms when I started working at Keltec about 5 years ago. Before that, I was just, your average plinkster. So
Just growing up,
my
you grew
dad,
up around.
yeah, my dad took me to the range and stuff.
Yeah. What was your
Yeah.
first firearm?
My very first firearm was a Smith & Wesson 357 copy. It was a pellet gun. Yeah, it's a 357.
That
yeah.
counts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I wish I still had that thing because it was back in my day in the
Yeah.
70s. They made those things, and they were like, it was almost like an identical gun, like a
Oh,
replica
yeah.
of the gun, but it was chambered for
Sure.
either BBs or
Kind of like
or
you're doing
pellets.
now
yeah.
with
You and
like
I
the
are probably
airsoft
about the
stuff.
same age.
Right,
so.
right, yeah.
I'm 43.
I'm 43 as well. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
we are.
I'm going to
Yeah.
play the romantic music now.
Birthday.
February 24th.
Are you kidding me?
No, sir.
February 9th.
Wow.
Sweet.
Man,
The romantic music is going
There
to be
it
edited
is.
in
there's
right
a
here.
bromance.
There was something brewing here. Did we just become best friends?
I think so.
yes.
And I'm
KSG
left
for you,
over
coming
here
right up.
pouting.
Coming right up. Yeah.
Nice.
I knew it was going to happen.
38, April 12th. Nothing.
Well, you're super tall and have a great beard, so
There
you go.
There we go. I made up for it.
He does have
Keep coming this way.
He does have a great beard, and that's been reinforced here several times.
I'm
Yeah.
sure
He's
it
been
has.
stopped by people just to get pictures of the beard.
And I got excited because I thought they knew who the hell Talking Lead was, but no, they just wanted a picture of the beard.
You do look like a celebrity.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Almond Brothers. Told you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Black Crows. I don't know. Whatever.
That's us.
Now, what about like when it comes to pop culture that involves guns, like TV shows, movies, video games, books, magazines? What's like your favorite? What's your go-to if it involves firearms?
I'm not really involved a whole lot in pop culture.
None, you don't have
Yeah.
like a favorite John Wayne movie? Or,
I love John Wayne movies.
there
I
you
don't have
go.
a favorite, but
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, I like them all.
What's your favorite movie?
I do like the fact that favorite movie. True Romance is a good one.
That's a good
That's
movie.
Lots of
movie.
shooting in that
Yeah.
movie.
That's a good
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
See, that counts. There you go.
Yeah, that's
True
a good
Romance.
one.
Now, is that,
Great story.
what's his name?
It was Quentin
Eyes.
Tarantino's first written movie, but
Yeah.
I don't. But it
Christian
was-
Slater.
Christian
Is
Slater
that
was in
it?
it.
Yeah, Christian Slater. I
And
forget the girl's name.
Christopher Walken
she's-
had one of the best
Julia Lewis,
scenes in
was
that
she
whole
the
movie.
her?
No,
No,
she's got a. They got
No, it was one of the
bunch of sisters
Arquette
and brothers.
chicks.
Yes.
Oh, Arquette.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of the Arquette chicks.
Yeah,
That's right.
great film.
But yeah,
That's a good
Christopher
one.
Walken was amazing
Yes.
in that
What movie
Yeah.
is he not amazing in? Marsupials. Scary.
Because the fast.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Has there been, or is there currently a gun in your collection maybe that you're just a little bit of you ashamed to admit it that you own?
I can't think of one. I don't.
no luck.
I don't want to
pink
throw anybody
22
down, but I don't.
revolver.
Oh no, nothing like that. Most of the guns I have are Kel-Tecs.
Yeah.
Shocker.
I just picked up a Glock 34 at Christmas this past year, so it's brand new to me. I've been running that. I was never a big fan of Glocks. I didn't hate them. I just didn't like the grip angle and the same stuff that everybody talks about.
Right.
Now I can't put the thing down.
Yeah.
I love that gun. Yeah, and I checked it all out for 3-gun and stuff. But absolutely, my favorite polymer, and then M&P Pro is another great gun. So I don't really have one I don't like. I mean, I
Now, do you
collect-
find shooting the Glock versus the M&P Pro, do you find that the
Totally
sight,
different.
you got to
you got to readjust. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
That's what we were talking about earlier with that competition that we did, because we're both Glock guys.
yeah.
And when we went to that competition, they were running the Smith & Wesson M&P Pros.
Yeah.
And we were shooting low.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
It was
Yeah.
hard
Big
for us-
time low.
Yes.
It was hard for us to bring that
Not
up.
just
for
like
some
an
reason.
inch or two. Like we were shooting almost a foot low.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's totally different. And you hear people, or you see people online, they argue about that all the time.
Yeah.
But it's just a matter of what you get used to. And if you can
It
make
is.
the adjustments after a few targets,
yeah.
you're good to go.
Well, and that's
Yeah.
what it was. Once we got, into the competition a little bit deeper and got shooting, we were.
Yeah.
Well, I'll
Yeah.
take that back. The first time I shot it, I did really good,
Yeah. Then you flopped.
and then I
for a little
flubbed
bit,
for a
and then
little
you came
bit,
back.
and then I came back.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain mechanics of firearm. Obviously, it needs to be accurate. There's a lot of things that are wrapped up in a gun, especially for competition. But the way I look at it is, if you were, go to Jerry Metchlik. Sorry if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but and you hand him a firearm, he's going to do the same thing with whatever gun you put in his hands.
Yes.
So it's the shooter,
Right.
whatever
It's
you
your mechanics.
Exactly, yeah. So
Yeah.
and I mean, Jerry's shooting plates at 400 yards with an M&P Pro. I mean, clearly the gun and the round is capable of getting there. So.
Yeah.
Just
What
gotta be a
about
shooter?
what about like bucket list guns? What's something that
man.
you're like, oh god?
Have you been to the Daniel Defense booth today?
No, we haven't.
Oh man,
What have they got now?
They got some. Well, they got banners everywhere, but they've
No, I
got
know
some
that.
beautiful.
What they got
guns.
now?
As far as models, I wouldn't be able to name one,
Yeah.
but just
I heard they
stop
got
by
something
their booth.
new out.
Daniel
They've
Fitz?
They've always got something new coming
Yeah.
out,
just about every
Some
show
kind
we've been
Some
to.
kind of
they've had.
new.
and I like that they're
AR
American
platform.
made. You know, American made, good old boys from Texas, Georgia,
Yeah.
down in Georgia, and yeah, it's a great company, good
Nice.
guns. But yeah, I probably want to pick up maybe one of their ARs. Noveski's a dream gun for me. I'd like to
Right.
get their 3-gun version. I can't technically go out and run it because sponsored by Keltec, but I would like to go out and run it in some local matches just to see how I can shoot with a gun like
Oh,
that.
sure.
You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
What's your take on the 300 blackout round? Being,
probably the same take everybody else
guru.
has. It'd be great if you could find the ammo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It's
the
easy-
biggest problem.
Yeah. It's great. A great round to suppress. Obviously, I kind of look at it as like the 45 ACP of rifles. You know, for CQB work because it's really efficient with a shorter barrel, and you can suppress it really well, and it hits really hard. And again, it depends on the shooter. You've got guys that can stretch that round out way past what you think it's capable of.
Sure.
So it just depends on the shooter. As far as a cartridge, I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
You know, anything easy to suppress like that is cool because you can hear it hit the steel a lot easier that way.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's my favorite sound.
Think
in
it
the
ever
world.
have a place in the competition world?
Yeah, if the ammo was
They get the ammo.
readily available,
Yeah.
and
Well, that's what would make it if people started to use it more.
sure.
You know,
And
competitions.
I think it would take off because, especially for shooters
Definitely
that are coming
knock
into
those
the sport.
targets down. You know.
Well, that and also when you're shooting paper, a lot of times your latency or delay when you're shooting those targets is you're staring at it to see if you hit it.
Right.
And with 30 caliber, because I do
The
run the
bigger holes.
308, it puts such a big hole in it. I don't need to stare at that target for any longer than I need to, to
Right.
figure out my hits.
Right.
So for a lot of shooters, they do that, and I see that at matches
That's a good
lot.
point. Yeah.
And
I
that
thought
and
about
that one things like that are what kind of separate the pros from from the guys like me or the guys like us. You know, what I mean?
Yeah,
they
whatever.
shoot at it and they know if they hit it, they're already on to the next target. You know,
Sure, yeah.
And every once in a while, I'll catch myself still looking at the target to make sure I'm there instead of doing what I'm supposed to be doing and moving on to the next one. So,
Right.
30 caliber bullet would help a lot with that. So.
Now, are you getting training from someone for your competition, or are you just doing it all yourself?
Not yet. The best training I've had so far is going to matches. And seriously, I mean, I've talked to Max Michel at Steel Challenge 2012, nicest guy in the world, and gave me a bunch of tips, And I did find myself shooting better after talking to him halfway through the match.
Oh wow.
So, yeah, and I've got some friends on the Noveski shooting team, and when I see them at national matches, they give me tips. Rob Romero, Jansen Jones, they both have helped me out a lot.
Cool.
Just giving me some tips, and that's really all you can do, because other than that, it's taking what they tell you and putting it into practice and get the rounds downrange the way they tell you to do it. And most of it's stage breakdown. If you can take this many targets from this position, stay there, post up, take all those targets before you move on to the next one. Or if you need to take these targets on the move and that's more efficient, do that.
Right.
So they give me tips on how to break down stages.
See,
and
I've
it
already
helps.
you already lost me. I'm like, I don't know what he's.
Yeah, you're way beyond us right now.
We're
But
like,
I get what you're saying, though.
Plate,
Yeah.
Yeah,
shooting, yay! That's kind of our level right now.
You hear the noise, you get excited. It's the
Yeah,
same for me.
it's kinda us.
Yeah, it's the same for me. But when it comes to like efficiency and where to take the targets from, that's really what kind of stumps a lot of shooters, is because
Right.
they get lost in the course of fire, or you're going too slow to keep up with the course of fire. So if you can break that stage down into sections, you know that I'm going to run over here, and when I get there, I know there's 4 targets I need to engage from this position,
Right.
and then from there I'm going to sprint over to this one, and then from here for the next 3 targets I'm going to be on like a fast move,
Right.
and try to take them on the move.
Sure.
And you're just trying to get your from one place to the next as fast as possible,
Right.
safely, obviously.
Yeah.
And it's just stage breakdown.
Right.
And these stage designers, they know that. They know how fast these guys can shoot, and they don't necessarily try to stump you, but they do try to make you think at a lot of these matches, and a lot of it's physical too. So
What's something that you find yourself doing? Just when you're at home, you got some spare time. I know
Dry
you don't
fire.
have a lot of. Is that I was going to say
Dry
which
fire, yeah.
which practice do you
all
do you
three.
like doing?
There's shotgun loading and then dry fire practice. And another thing I like to do with my rifle is to go from transition from target to target. And I do this in the backyard, by the way. So it's cool. But my neighbors are all
You using
cool.
the
so-
CERT?
What's that?
You using the CERT?
No, I want to get one of those.
Oh,
they're
it's
awesome.
nice.
Yeah, yeah,
Especially
that
for
would
the trigger
help.
control
Especially
stuff.
Yes.
for
Oh,
like
yeah.
you're saying around the house, around home, in your backyard.
Yeah.
You're not freaking out the
Yeah,
the
and the
neighbors or
beauty
anything.
of it is that you don't have to keep racking it to like with the, I'd like to have a rifle as well because you have to keep cycling it to dry fire it, and then when you transition from target to target, you can pretend you're pulling the trigger, but there's nothing there. It's nice to have that consistency and that trigger pull every time.
They've got a drop in for the ARs.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yep.
you just
Drop
spent a
in
whole
bolt.
bunch of money for me.
Well, he's going to be sending me one, so I'll let you.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
We'll share.
I'd like
We'll-
to get some time on it.
Like we do,
We'll share for a share.
we'll share.
All right, a little horse trading. All right.
Give us a
I like
couple,
it.
couple of rounds with that new 5.56.
Oh,
You guys
yeah.
got to shoot that. It is so awesome. It really is.
I want to. I'm looking
a
forward
little
to
bit
it.
worried about the mag changes.
Oh, really? We do.
Yeah, we're going to.
We're in.
It's fun. It'll reach out there too. It's accurate. I shot. I did it twice to make sure it wasn't a fluke. But I think might have told you yesterday.
Yeah.
I shot a 1-inch group at 200 yards with it.
Yeah, that's
So,
amazing. That's
and,
a bullpup.
Yeah. Yep.
bullpup.
Yeah. You still get 17.5-inch barrel. So.
Yep.
Yeah. And
And you do some things with. It was on our show. Well, I'm not going to say yet. We're going to divide this up into days. Anyway.
Yeah, it's just going to flow weird.
Yeah, you've done some things.
He was on our show here
with
at
one
this
of our
show.
guests, Hank Strange.
yes. Yeah. He's a
And
good
he's
friend.
big into bullpups.
He is.
That's
He's
kinda
big
his
into
thing.
anything that shoots projectiles. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what it is. He loves it. But yeah, he loves Kel-Tec. He's a big supporter, and we do a lot of videos with him. He's a really good guy. Yeah, Hank Strange. So we'll go out and eventually we'll take the RDB out there to his range and we'll show it on camera and stuff.
Now, do you ever get around Nashville area much, Tennessee?
Love Nashville. I heard that this show might be in Nashville next year. Is that true?
It is.
Yes.
It's in our backyard.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
we're out of
Where we're at.
Nashville, so it's like
Yeah.
right there.
Oh, that'd
And
be
there will
awesome.
be a big party. And we will be looking for corporate
it's his birthday.
sponsors.
That's the only reason I'm going now. You just refocused me.
I mean, if it's
Yeah.
if it's going to be hosted where we're at, I mean, we might as well throw just a massive
Absolutely.
throwdown, like
We've
the size
got
of this
to
room.
let people know that that's our backyard. You know?
Sure.
That's
Yeah.
our stomping ground.
Yeah,
so.
Nashville's an awesome city. I used to be a touring musician, and we went through Nashville quite
Oh,
a bit.
okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Any bands that we would know, or
Not anybody you would know.
Okay.
Just a lot of solo artists, solo country artists. A girl named Rachel Stacy. If you guys out there, look up RachelStacy.com. She's
yeah,
just to go look at her.
really?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
I'm
Yeah.
grabbing my
He's
phone
got
right
his phone
now.
right now.
We've got a guy.
She's a
that's,
good friend, a great, beautiful voice, good songwriter
a
too.
friend of our show, Marcus Fox.
Okay. He's Nashville.
Country music. He's out of Alabama,
Oh, okay.
but he's been on the show a few times. Done,
nice.
done a charity event with us out
He's
in
a songwriter.
Statesville. Yeah, he does.
Singer-songwriter?
Yeah,
Okay.
singer-songwriter. Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, real good. Former Marine,
Oh, awesome.
also.
You said
yeah.
Rachel Stacy?
Look at that look on his face. You see it already?
Wait a minute. There's a bunch of blues on here.
Rachel,
that one?
RachelStacy.com. That looks like her, but I don't think that's her.
Okay.
Maybe go on. Did you Google her?
Or wait, here's somebody playing guitar.
Let's see her. Yeah, you guys should have her out. She loves guns too.
Yeah, we should.
Have her do a little ditty on the show.
A little ditty.
Yeah,
You have to let us know next time you're in Nashville way, and we'll
absolutely.
go to the range. Have you been to the Nashville Armory yet?
I haven't.
Okay, it's
Show
one of
me
the
around.
nation's state-of-the-art.
Kind of looks like an
Shooting
older
facilities.
version of Taylor Swift.
Let me see.
Like that one.
That picture is so small, and I'm old. I
Yeah.
can't see it, but
And it won't like get bigger for me. Like, in that one too.
It won't get bigger.
That's
for you.
her.
That's a personal
Yeah.
problem.
is that her website?
Yeah. These
Oh,
are pictures from
okay.
the website, but they
Just
don't.
look her up on Facebook.
Yeah.
You know, Facebook's the go-to place.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, is there anything else coming up with Kel-Tec new and exciting that we might need to know about?
Just the RDB, the CMR 30. Are you familiar with the RMR 30?
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Okay, we changed the name of it. It's gonna
Oh,
be
why's that?
Yeah. It had to do with the RMR site that Trijicon
Oh,
makes.
okay.
I
that
had
was
always
good.
wondered that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Which, up until we ended up with a sponsorship by Vortex, I thought it would actually be cool to do the RMR on the RMR because it's perfect for the gun.
Right.
You know. But yeah, they did. We had.
They didn't wanna go with that,
conflict there. No. So
Is that a
but-
Trijicon thing or
yeah,
Oh.
Trijicon.
their
they,
loss?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
D-bags.
No, they're nice guys over there. It's just that, they got to look out for their interests, and so
that would be the RMR on the RMR. I mean, that's a genius marketing.
I think so too. But yeah, we changed it. So it's carbine now. Carbine Magnum rimfire. So
Nice.
CMR. But you haven't changed anything about the
no, the gun's
gun itself.
gun's the same. But that'll be coming out third quarter this year. So we'll finally get that out. I know everybody says they're never going to see that gun, but it had to do with the whole gun scare and the ammo scare and all that stuff that was happening last year.
Right.
So we had to put on the back burner. But we're running parts for it now. And we'll be cranking them out.
So are you guys caught up with your production on demand yet?
Not at all.
No,
Never gonna happen, is it?
Have you been to a gun shop lately?
Well,
no.
here's
That was a leading question, Pete. That's what we call it, a leading question.
yeah, and the thing is, we've expanded like crazy over the last year and a half. I mean, we've bought buildings. George has bought somewhere between 9 and 15 new CNC machines. We've hired like 100 people. There's a lot of stuff going on at Kel-Tec right now, and the beautiful thing of it is we don't owe anybody a dime.
That's awesome.
So the whole company, George is the company.
Not running on debt, huh?
Exactly.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah. So, and yeah, if we were a publicly owned company, we probably could crank out as many guns as anybody wanted. You know what I mean? But this is George's business model, and we've expanded a lot here just in the last 2 years. And since the PMR 30 KSG were introduced, we went from pocket pistols to nobody really knowing who we were to a household name.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to grow with that, but we don't want to overgrow so that we've got people standing around twiddling their thumbs at the shop. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's
You got an obligation to your employees. Yeah.
exactly, yeah. And we've got obligation to our customers too. So we take it very seriously. So hence George is putting a lot of money back into the company and realizing that people do actually like his designs. And that's the other thing too. You design something, you have no idea if it's going to take off or not. We had no idea the KSG was going to do what it's going to. Well, I did, and I told him that when he brought the prototypes down, but he didn't.
Right.
He had no idea anybody would like a bullpup shotgun.
Right.
So
And now look at all the ones that
Look
are
at it now, yeah.
copycats.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
a few of them out there. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, y'all are based in Florida, right?
We are Central Florida,
Okay,
the Cocoa Beach area.
gotcha.
Most people are familiar with the space shuttle program, all
Yeah.
that stuff. So we're right in that area.
Trying to think of how long of a road
It's
trip
one of my
that would be
favorite
for us.
places, Cocoa Beach.
See how
Oh,
long
yeah.
of a road trip that would be for us to come down there.
Come down,
It
take y'all
takes-
fishing.
I think it takes like 12.
12 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
All right.
10,
Just
10
fly
12
down.
hours.
Heck yeah.
Fly down, I'll pick you up,
We
take
like-
y'all fishing.
We like driving the lead sleds.
Yeah, we've got
yeah.
our vehicles are all wrapped with our sponsors. and
Oh,
our stuff.
nice.
We're
Yeah.
advertising.
That'd be cool,
Mobile
man.
billboards.
But you know what? We've got room for another sponsor on.
Yeah, we do.
on there.
There's
So,
perfect spots.
we got lots of logos.
Oh, okay. I think
Just
this
food for
may
thought.
this may be taking
Yeah.
off somewhere.
I like it. Remember, horse trading.
Yes.
Yep.
Lots of horse
we're,
trading.
we're all about that.
Yes.
Nice.
We
No
will
doubt.
trade all day long.
But I mean, I've got 2 sub 2000s right now. I've got the I was going to say the PMR. It's not the PMR.
PF9,
The PF. No.
P11.
The 5.56 that you've got.
Oh, the PLR 16.
the PLR.
Yeah.
Yeah. 16.
Great gun.
I've got that. I want.
It's a good truck gun.
I'm jonesing for the KSG.
Mm-hmm.
When they first come out, I gotta admit, I was a little,
Mm-hmm.
about them. Not so sure about it.
Well, and I'll admit too,
And then there
I
was
was completely I don't want it until shot. When I shot
Okay.
it and
Right.
shot, I was like,
Oh, yeah.
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 Yeah, you see what I mean now? Like,
Yes, exactly.
George comes up with this crazy stuff. You're like, what?
Yeah.
What is this?
Well, that was the thing. I
and
mean,
then you shoot it, and you're like,
Yeah.
I think when
get
they first came out, there was some bad press on them. I think
Yeah.
there was a couple of things that you guys needed to tweak, but you got those fixed, obviously.
Yeah.
And when we got a hold of that thing at SHOT Show, I mean, it was butter, man.
It was
just-
over with.
Yeah,
smooth.
we have a great T&E program, and I do a lot of the marketing stuff like on camera, and so I'll take it to different avenues or what's the word I'm looking for? I'll take it out to
Venues.
different venues, yeah. And let people shoot it in the field. And we do that kind of stuff like we're doing with the RDBs right now. The shooting team has them, and we're taking them to matches, and we're letting people shoot them
Right.
and look over the gun and be like, what would you change on it? And one of the things was non-reciprocating charging, and that's where it came from.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
so we let the end user tell us what they would want to do with the gun. Same thing with the KSG. It went through a lot of changes before we got to where we are now because of customer feedback.
Wow.
So, and a lot of companies don't necessarily do that. They create a product, they put it out there, you either like it or you don't. You know, so.
Well, and then, like you said before, they've got a lot of other people, like board members and making decisions rather than
Exactly. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
one guy who's
Yeah.
listens to his customers. You know,
we've got a small skeleton crew of people that just kind of do whatever we want.
Those are the companies that end up coming up with the best stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Yep.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, but where I was going with that is, you know, I've had these for probably the last 5 years
Since before we started the show.
Yeah, I got into the Kel-Tec products, and man, I've been in love with them ever since. I love his fresh, you know, attitude that he brings to the gun industry.
Mm-hmm.
We need somebody that's doing something different.
Yep.
Sure.
That's bringing something different. And that's what we got to do to evolve this industry.
Well, there's a lot of things that are
take
different
it to the next level,
but they're not necessarily user friendly.
Right.
Just to be nice, you know. And George comes up with
Double
different.
like a double tap.
Sorry. Did that come out? Double Tap is either going to come and throw a bunch of money at us, or they are going to like slander us every time they
What
turn
about
around.
that
They're going to
5.56?
get a letter from their attorney, cease and desist.
Yeah.
They're coming out with like a rifle cartridge. I think it's a 5.56 version of that gun.
No,
Really?
I'm actually interested in seeing that.
double tap.
Yeah.
5.56.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. Maybe for
We'll
some
give it a
It's
chance.
like
It's
taking,
something for somebody.
but it feels like you're taking an iPhone size and making a grip out of it. I mean, it's like I'm gripping a gun like this.
Yeah.
It's
I fired one and I didn't like it.
Not a fan.
Awkward. Yeah.
Well, I thought my arm was going to come off. Yeah. Well, I shot the 45. It was my fault, really. But
well, and if I'm going to
Yeah.
go with something like that, I'll go with like one of the Bond Arms Derringers. They're heavy, they're solid, you know, good,
Yeah.
and
It's concealable.
yeah, I do appreciate the innovation though and
Yeah.
stuff. You know, and I think it's cool that people go out on a limb
Yeah,
like
and I
that.
don't want to knock them for that because they are trying to bring fresh new ideas
Sure.
to the table, and you know maybe something will lead to something else.
Exactly. They got to
doesn't
start
suck.
somewhere. Yeah.
it doesn't suck.
Yeah. And you know, I'm sure there's a lot of
Practical.
people out
Let's say
there that love it. And,
No,
you know,
there are.
So, yeah.
We like giving them a hard time, even though
Well,
we don't
there's a
know who they are.
There's obviously a market for it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
got its place.
I think they are going to come up here and give you guys a bunch of samples and money. They're like, please stop talking bad about us.
Please shut
We
up.
like them all of a sudden. Yeah, like in a month, all of a sudden, all our listeners are going to hear Double Tap. I was wrong. It was amazing.
Yeah, and then the
That
next
thing
week we're
was-
going to hear Facts to Fight the Myth, sponsored by Double Tap.
Awesome,
Nice.
man. Well,
we
appreciate
actually
you
have
coming out.
a structured show that we normally do, but just here we
shows. Forget about
we
it.
kind
This
of
is
do a
cool.
little bit
Yeah.
different.
I
But
like
we,
this.
we hit
It's
you with some of the
It's a good format. I like
Yeah.
that.
some of the questions that we ask our first time guests.
Well, it's
we
kind of
start
like,
working
you know,
a
the
little bit.
industry needs entertainment too. It doesn't just need
Absolutely.
people talking at you. you know?
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
and what people usually say with our show is they feel like they're in a cabin with their buddies shooting the shit about guns.
That's how I feel right now.
yeah, yeah.
And
so-
that's the way we want it to be. Like I said, we don't have the radio voices. We don't, come on and hey,
Right.
you know, and,
This is Talking
Chad
Lead.
with Kel-Tec.
We're here at the NRA.
This is why we were just responsive. You guys talk to me like that. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Well,
But
very
yeah,
cool.
well, we appreciate you coming on, man.
I appreciate
We
you
definitely
having
do.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're
Good
going to
time.
come
This
down to
is-
the booth at some point
Since
today.
we started
may
the
have a little
show
break
a
here.
year and 4 months ago,
It's been a whirlwind.
I've been wanting to get in touch with you guys. I've been wanting you. I mean,
Anytime, man.
Well, and we're good friends with Student of the Gun,
So
who
this
y'all do
is-
sponsor,
Yes.
and
yeah.
they've been trying to
Yeah.
hook us up too. So,
Oh, cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I love.
In
those
fact,
guys
we're
over there.
doing their man on the street stuff here since they weren't able to come.
Oh yeah, they're not here.
Yeah, they weren't able to
Wow.
make it.
All right. Well, you guys would be a fine fill-in for that.
Yeah, we'll try.
Nice.
All
Well,
right.
thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah,
Chad,
That's
thanks
awesome.
for being on.
Yeah.
How can people get in touch with you?
KelTechWeapons.com, and there's a whole bunch of stuff on the website there. If they want to call in and ask for me, by all means, please do. But the phone lines are probably gonna be pretty tied up.
Yeah, or you'll probably be at a competition shooting or something,
And
Yeah.
taking the Laser Grace product out.
and seeing the
Yeah.
stars in Left Hand's Eye, I think we're going to hear a lot more from Kel-Tec soon.
Nice.
Thanks, man.
Nice. Thanks, you guys. Thanks.
Actually, you say season your 70th episode.
Yeah.
I think we hit 70 last week or week before.
Oh, wow.
Oh, we're right on pace.
We're tied up.
Let me see, I'm checking that now, confirming that.
But y'all had more than that.
Well, some of the seasons were set up as hour-longs, but they were segmented as 2 episodes.
Oh,
It
gotcha.
only started 30-minute episodes.
Okay.
We may be beyond that. I remember when we hit 54, because 54 is our original contract.
Oh, wow. That's a big initial contract.
Yeah.
Impressive.
No, we'll hit 70 at the end of this season. I'm sorry.
Okay. So we've already smoked you then. Jeez.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
So if people are wondering, the voice that you're hearing right now, that is Joe Moe from Red Jacket Firearms.
Also, Sons of Guns.
Is that what we figured out that TV show was? I know we couldn't figure out when we did that video with him. It was like Sons of Cannons or something.
Sons of
Boom.
Pistols.
Sons of Boom and
Sons of
Sons of Nolans.
Nolans?
Or Louisiana.
Y'all aren't in New Orleans, are you?
No, we go there periodically.
Just for the scenery, right?
Taking
Y'all
the
don't-
sights.
Yeah.
There's no alcohol drank in that town.
No, there's a lot of alcohol drinking.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Quite the
It's
contrary, huh?
Perfectly acceptable. It's a good Catholic state and
It's perfect.
container
right in the
laws.
Bible.
It wasn't originally a prison state, right?
No, not this one.
We have said for a long time, everybody knows we have Gabby on Guns. She has a monthly segment on our show. Gabby Franco, now the NRA, one of the new NRA commentators. And we've been looking for somebody to do another segment and kind of something a little bit outside of our realm of knowledge, a little more technical,
More technical,
gunsmithing.
yeah.
And we talked to Joe about it, and Joe is going to start doing a segment monthly. Hopefully, we'll try to land the third Thursday of every month. Just depends on what we got going on, what he has going on. And did we lock in the Mojo Minutes?
I think we did. Yep.
I like it.
The Mojo Minutes.
The
We got
Mojo
We got a
Minutes.
theme
Or
song.
we need to come up with something a little bit longer,
Uh-huh.
just for
More technical.
ego's sake.
Okay. The Magnificent Mojo Minutes?
The Mojo 21 minutes.
Okay.
That's that'd be pretty good. 21 minutes is
We'll
pretty
come
cool.
up with some kind of technical, long ass name.
There you go. What
We'll
kind
get
of what
we'll
kind
get
of
our
music do you
thesaurus
like?
out and
I'm actually pretty eclectic on my music. I like that we normally have death metal going on in the back
Oh, perfect.
to kind of to get the mood going. But this morning I had some like modern country, and I was like, hey, this is kind of cool. I'm gonna listen to it for a couple hours,
Okay.
and then it transitioned back to death metal.
Which is perfect in my world.
It worked out well because Zach's taking a little road trip today.
Uh-huh.
And we're like, first thing this morning is like, Zach, we got to get this done. And we go back to his desk and realize that the first thing he needed to do this morning, I gave him last night. So now he had two first things.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so we had to pick up the pace a little bit.
so for our new listeners that don't know who Zach is, tell them who Zach is, Joe.
Zach is our lead CAD cam guy. He's our in-house CAD cam specialist. All the crazy stuff that I dream up, and he's actually a very, very talented engineer, and it's been very, very fundamental in revamping our whole new suppressor line.
And a fellow Tennessean.
Who just so happens to be from Tennessee. Yeah, just down the road from us.
Yep. And
Yep.
Columbia.
Yep.
Actually went to school with my sister. I'm trying to figure out if they knew each other or not. He said he wasn't sure, but I'm going to ask my sister too. So
Your older sister or your younger sister?
the middle one. Yeah. Yeah, I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest sister?
No, yeah.
You're
Yeah,
the
no.
oldest sister?
No, I'm not the oldest sister.
Okay.
Totally my line.
So, Joe, we didn't get to ask you before, but we've got a handful of questions we ask all our guests when we intro them the first time they come on. The first one being, how did you originally get into firearms?
Well, my dad was big into self-defense, and he was actually a jeweler. And this was a time period before concealed carry permits were around.
Mm-hmm.
My dad always carried a handgun. It's always with him. And I just was brought into that, introduced with it. And I thought, man, that thing's cool. And I always knew not to touch it. But if I ever had that question, like, I kind of want to see it, all I had to do was just ask. Dad really introduced that respect of firearms to me. But again, curiosity kills the cat. So if you don't oblige that curiosity, and it's something I always think of, if my nephews or nieces or anybody wants to see any firearms that I have or want to understand them, I will more than happily, gladly go through it safely, unloaded, and allow them to take a look at it, see it, ask questions, understand it, with the knowledge that it's a deadly piece of machinery. It can kill you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what fostered my interest in them. And I was always like machines, and guns are just a cool machine.
Do you remember what the first firearm was that your dad
introduced you to?
Yep, it was actually a really cool little gun. It's called a DK Star. It's a 380, kind of like a 1911, but it's a little baby thing. And it was an alloy frame, aluminum alloy frame, and a blued slide. And there were supposedly only about 6 to 10 of them ever imported into the States.
Really?
Yeah.
Where are they from?
From, where's Star made? Austria or Germany? It's also a Starfire DK. So that was the first gun.
Starfire.
Are you looking at pictures again?
How old were you when that happened?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you.
Did you get to go shoot it? Did he let you go shoot it?
Yeah, I remember shooting it probably when I was 10 or 12. I know we had other guns, had shotguns and things like that, but that was the gun that I'd see it every day. Because when he'd come in, he'd put it on the counter with the change and wallets and things like that. Oh, they're Spanish. That's right. Star's a Spanish gun. I forgot about that.
Spanish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Did you just have an employee school you?
No, I had an employee hitting the internet and doing some research for me.
Oh, okay.
Good employee. That's Vanessa.
Your internet's faster than mine, Vanessa.
Hey, Vanessa.
Hey, Vanessa.
We've heard good things about you through Jaeger and the Markles, so.
Vanessa is here, our compliance, and what do we have with that?
Speed internet searcher?
That's right. Compliance and NFA manager.
Wow.
She basically keeps me out of jail.
She's the most important person at Red Jacket then.
She's somebody you
Very,
want to
very-
keep happy, right?
She's very, very important. Yep.
Yeah, so I just found that Starfire DK. That's a good-looking little gun, yeah.
It is. It is. And it was cool because the first rounds ever shot out of it were actually really interesting, too. My dad had a friend that was an air marshal, and he had some of the air marshal rounds. They're aluminum hollow points in 380.
Cool.
Oh, wow.
They're real light, high velocity.
No
And
over penetration worries there.
No, when it hit something soft, it borderline a frangible.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it ran out of energy really quick, but it was exactly what was needed.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
later I got in a nasty surprise with them because I had a box of them. Not really nasty, but it was a learning experience. I had some of those aluminum bullets, and it works fine in that little Star because of the alloy frame, hammer fired, fairly lightweight. Well, I got a little AMT 380 backup.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, oh, this is going to be cool. So I loaded some of those bullets in it and chambered the first round and fired it. And it felt a little funny. And I pulled the trigger again and it wouldn't go bang. Well, there wasn't enough energy in those particular bullets to cycle that AMT.
Oh, wow.
That AMT is it's a little single action, very light slide, so it has a very, very stiff spring. And that's probably one of the first questions, like, what's going on? Why didn't this work? Through talking with people and thought processes, I figured out that there just wasn't enough energy there in the bullet. And when I'm talking about this, we're going around age of 13 and 14. And it's something that my dad allowed me to kind of run into these questions and answer it myself.
So do you still have that gun? Or is your
I have
dad?
the AMT. We don't have the Star anymore.
Don't have a Star.
I've been keeping my eye out for one because I definitely want to get it. So if there's any listeners out there that have the
Get the
wherewithal
inside
to
track.
know where a Star Model DK alloy frame is,
Yes.
I'd definitely be interested in that.
So the origin was Spain, 380, 14.5 ounces, 5.5 inch length. They started importing those, or production began in 1956, and then it stopped. Importation stopped in December 1968. So it's probably a very hard one to find.
Yeah. Does it have any import numbers on it?
Joe's like, wait a minute. Give me those numbers. I can get it.
Not on. This is actually a Triple K brand website. They sell magazines for them, but they might have information on where to get one.
That would be cool because I still have the original box. My dad passed away 14 years ago now, but I have the original box, the original manual, the holster that it was carried in, and 2 spare magazines. So all I got to do is just find the gun.
You just need the gun. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll put our
Thing
feelers
goes
out.
bang.
Maybe we'll show up down there in Louisiana, surprise you with one.
Hey, don't be making no promises. Nah.
I said maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't hold your breath.
Yeah, we may end up showing up with a high point.
We have trouble finding
The thought
Glocks.
that counts. Hey, I kind of like the high points.
Hey, they run $150.
They go They go bang, yeah, and they're cheap.
We've got a we
They'll
kind
take a
of
licking, that's for sure.
we kind of announced that Left Hand still refuses to do it, but we're going to do a YouTube video and do some competition shooting team with all high points. And we're going to have a training video where we're going to hook cinder blocks on our holsters and do side bends and stuff. So hopefully that'll turn out well.
You don't need cinder blocks with those things. They are cinder
I
blocks.
know, exactly. It's the whole point. So do you have any military or law enforcement experience?
I don't have a lot of military. I come from a military family. My dad was in the Air Force. One of my brothers in the Navy. Two of my other brothers are Marines. I was in the Civil Air Patrol for a long time because I love things that fly. So it was a real big interest.
Mm-hmm.
I took my first flight lessons when I was around 15.
We got another pilot in our little circle.
Yeah.
It's cars, guns, and aircraft all kind of have that same theme, just cool machinery. So I think
Yep.
it's a common theme you run across, especially in the firearms world.
You into flying helicopters?
I think helicopters are one of the coolest things, but
A lot of moving parts on them.
I know exactly how complex those things are.
Uh-huh.
They scare me.
Yeah.
So I'll go up in them. And I am deathly afraid of heights.
Me too,
Ladders,
brother. Yes.
bridges.
Wait, both of y'all are pilots and you're afraid of heights.
I am.
It's if I'm on something that's not designed to fly, I get a little tweaked out about it, like bridges, buildings, ladders. I was installing some lights here in the shop, and I'm just
You get a little dizzy.
buckshot, and I had to take a break. I can only get 2 of them done in a day because I had to take a break, cool down, and I was having this big adrenaline dump. But I found anything that flies, hot air balloons, airplanes, helicopters, a freaking paraglider.
I was going to ask you, would you go up in a glider?
Oh, hell yeah, in an instant.
Awesome.
Yep.
Now, when it comes to pop culture, whether that's books, TV show, movie, a song, what's your go-to video game, anything like that? What's your go-to that involves firearms?
And you're not allowed to say Sons of Guns.
Wait, something that involves firearms?
Yeah, pop culture that involves firearms.
Well, I'm a big geek, and
Welcome to the club.
There was a short-lived series. It was kind of a sci-fi western, kind of like a live-action Cowboy Bebop. You have any idea what that is?
Cowboy Bebop. Live
Well, I know what
action.
Cowboy Bebop is. It's an anime thing.
Yeah, but there's something that's similar, kind of a sci-fi cowboy thing.
Are you talking about Defiance?
No,
How long ago was it?
series.
Oh, Firefly.
Firefly.
Oh, yeah. That show, I still to this day have no idea why it got canceled. One season.
It
Did you
seemed
see
to be
it?
huge.
Did you see it on TV when it was airing?
No, I've only seen like it on Netflix, and I saw the Serenity movie.
That's why. Because when it aired on TV, the pilot that was actually supposed to be the pilot ended up being episode 3, and then they showed episode 2 in the first spot and episode 3 in the fourth spot. So when it aired on TV, it made absolutely no sense to everybody that was watching it.
Oh.
So people couldn't follow it, and ratings kind of dropped, and they canned it. Well, when they released it on DVD, Netflix, all the other medias, they released it in the order that it was supposed to be. And the people that kind of liked it on TV, they would watch it in the order it was supposed to happen. And it's a really cool series if you work it like that.
It is.
I never saw it as the series, the original run series. I'd only seen it on DVD or Netflix or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just a really cool concept.
It is. It's a really good show.
You got to know anything that Joss Whedon does is
Oh, yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, and Nathan Fillion is just he owns that character, Mal.
That was the lead character, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The brown coat. He's a brown coat, which kind of the Civil War thing, and it's just real cool concept. So I really like to watch that series.
And there was an actor. There was an actor in that series that is extremely pro-gun and a Second Amendment advocate.
Others,
Adam Baldwin.
yeah.
Yep.
Nathan Fillion actually is too.
Is he really? That's awesome. It's
I
funny.
like to believe that Kaylee and Anara are pro gun too.
We like to believe a lot of
Makes
women
them
in the industry.
more sexy.
Hey, I'll give you one that we found out through this show. Angelina Jolie is pro gun.
Yeah, her husband is too.
Yeah, he bought her like a $450,000 range for their property. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, he bought that for her.
Well, yeah.
He bought it for himself.
Must be nice, huh?
I know, seriously.
Yeah, tell us about it, Joe. Tell us how nice that is.
Idea.
You live it day in and day out.
Has there ever been a gun in your arsenal that there's a little bitty part of you that's kind of embarrassed to say, yeah, I had that, or I have that still?
No, because I still own a High Point. I got a High Point carbine.
You're proud of that High Point.
Now,
That's what I'm talking about.
I will give the carbines kudos because I have shot those before, and I really enjoy shooting their carbines.
The only problem I have with the High Point pistols is just they weigh 500 pounds. Other than that, for $150, put it in your bedside table, locked up well, can't beat
That's
it.
the only way to make it cheap and still run reliably.
Yep.
It gives me cramps.
It gives you cramps.
Yeah, it gives me hand cramps. My hand starts cramping up whenever I'm holding one.
You sound like such a whiny kid when you say cramps.
Cramps.
Gives me hand cramps.
cramps.
I think there's use in all firearms. I mean, it's a tool.
Yeah.
And just like any other tool, you have to pick its application.
Mhm.
I think somebody real cool and famous once said the only interesting rifle is an accurate rifle. Well, I'm a precision shooter. I like to kind of push that edge of it.
Mhm.
But again, I know that firearms are tools, and there's always a use for every firearm, even the High Point.
Yeah. Now,
This show brought to you by High Point.
I think you just landed us a new sponsor. So,
As long as they don't listen to any of our past shows.
outside of the Star that we already talked about, what's another firearm that you used to have that you wish you had back?
Actually, I've only sold, at one point, I'd only sold one firearm ever.
Wow.
And it was to basically upgrade to another firearm. I still have my original 22, the first firearm I ever bought, a little Marlin Glenfield Model 25, a bolt-action 7-round magazine micro groove rifle. I thought it was hot stuff. I think it was $99, and it came with a bunch of ammo, a sling, a really nice scope, a little one of the Japanese Tasco scopes.
Mm-hmm.
I still use that scope on one of my silhouette rifles.
Good old Tascos.
Yeah, the Japanese Tascos were great, man. A lot of Japanese optics, just outstanding stuff.
There was it was a blatant ACOG ripoff that was out last year, and it only lasted, I want to say, like a month before they slammed them down pretty hard. But I mean, it was piece for piece an ACOG.
At a third of the price, probably?
Less than that. I want to say they were going for like $250.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, it was crazy. And I thought about buying one. It was at a gun show when I saw it. I left. I was like, oh, I should have got that. The next time that gun show came around, I went to the same guy. He was like, no, they stopped all shipments of them. They can't make them anymore. I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's hard for me to do that,
Yeah.
because especially as a manufacturer,
Yeah.
I understand what it takes to bring a product to market and have a high-quality market, and then just be totally blindsided by somebody that comes out with this cheap knockoff copy and it's 10-20% cheaper. So, I mean, it's frustrating. So I have a tendency, I try not to support stuff like that.
Knockoff stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. It's similar to the whole movie and music download thing back when Napster was huge and a hit. I used to do it all the time, and I had a friend of mine. I mean, us being in Nashville, we're surrounded by the music business. And I had a friend of mine who almost got in a fist fight with me when he saw that I downloaded songs for free. And I was like, I had the mentality, oh, what's the big deal? The musicians, they make a ton of money. It's not hurting them. He goes, yeah, but it's hurting the guy in the factory that puts the CD cases together. It's hurting the guy that runs Sound Shop down the street. It's hurting me who works for $20,000 a year, putting wires into recording equipment, And it kind of changed my mindset on a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. We're involved in a lot of licensing products.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I kind of coming from. I definitely understand that aspect.
So we need to scratch our project of building purple coat firearms.
Purple coat
Actually,
firearm.
no, that's cool.
We'll just make just the worst, crappiest versions of whatever y'all make.
We'll be called Rouge Coat.
Rouge coat, rouge coat firearm.
So when it comes to your bucket list of guns, like the next gotta have firearm, what's on your list?
I don't know. There's so many guns out there. It's hard to make a decision on that. That's kind of what got me into the engineering aspect of it. I'm sure y'all are familiar with the ZK-22.
Oh yeah,
The concept with that. It stemmed from, man, I really like the bullpup platforms. Man, the P90 sucks ergonomically.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I just decided, well, I want to build something that fits good. So that's why I designed the ZK-22, because it would be an inexpensive way to get a bullpup platform to market, so I can later push it for centerfire, 9mm, and then even all the way up to 5.56. Now, something that's currently on the market, man, I don't know.
Well, a man like you is probably in a position where you can get some stuff that's probably not on the market
Yeah,
as well.
some of them are. And I've actually got some cool pieces sitting on my desk right now.
Well, you know, we've never asked that question to someone that could probably build one, whatever he wants from scratch.
Yeah.
We were having a discussion this week, and we were coming up with like, what's on the market, like this particular concept, and we just kept racking our brain and couldn't figure it out. I'm like, you know what? Let's build it.
Perfect.
So we started on a little concept this week. That's going to be pretty cool.
Awesome.
Anything you can divulge?
Nope.
Nope.
Yeah, so somebody at Rouge Coat Firearms can make it.
No, but it'd be pretty cool and it'd be pretty quiet.
That's all that matters.
Now, I noticed on your Facebook page you've done some interesting things to the Kel-Tec KSG.
Yes.
In addition to the suppressor that we showed at SHOT, you've kind of gone and made it shorter?
No, that's actually when you were saying that, I may have a little access to things that some may not be.
Yeah.
Kel-Tec actually has a very little known variant of the KSG.
Uh-huh.
Their Patrol.
So that's what that is.
And it's a 13.7 inch SBS, and you can hear it action right now.
That was it.
That's it. And it's really cool. We just got them in a few days ago to work on a production line, and we're going to implement it, and you'll probably be able to see the development and storyline of some insider information with what we're doing with it.
Cool.
Very cool. Yeah.
Now, you were talking about the ZK a second ago. I love the concept of it, but, I mean, you've seen how tall I am. I have an issue with a lot of bullpups. About the only one that really feels ergonomically good for me is the Tavor. Is the ZK something that you've seen bigger guys handle it and like it?
I've never had anybody say that the ZK was not comfortable or ergonomically fitting them.
Okay.
Even as big as Zach is, Zach loves shooting. He's got a fondness for one of our SBR ones where the barrel basically just pops out of the front of the gun about a half inch or so.
Mm-hmm.
He shoots that one a lot. We've got a lot of guys that are anti-bullpup, and they like to shoot them. Well, even Charlie. Charlie's a big dude. Sure, y'all are.
Charlie.
Have you met Charlie?
Charlie's the blonde guy?
He's got the goatee.
Yeah. We haven't met him yet.
He's a big dude.
Okay.
He's probably about your height, real broad shoulders, and not a bullpup fan, but he loves the ZK-22 because it was designed around ergonomics first.
Nice. And see, I like that. That's one thing I like about y'all's company, and I'm going to start sounding like an infomercial, is y'all put a lot of thought into what you put out. It's not like you're just throwing out stuff that looks cool.
We try and make it look cool, too.
No, but I mean, y'all think about it, too. There's a lot of companies out there that are saying, ooh, this looks like something from Halo. Let's make it a gun, and then you hold it, and it feels like idiotic.
Absolutely uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I think that's where a lot of bullpup concepts come from.
Mm-hmm.
Or somebody likes a particular firearm platform and say, I'm going to bullpup this thing. So you end up getting restricted in certain ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When we developed the ZK, I developed it as a PDW bullpup platform. Didn't really care what was going to go around it as long as it shot 22 long rifle. So the ZK22 is, well, we've got some cool things coming up that it's just not just a 1022 that's available for it, but some other semi-automatic 22s.
Did this concept come before that show with Brooks?
Who?
It absolutely did. I thought
it did. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of development, and it got highly expedited from the show, and it becoming kind of part of that.
Yeah, because it just kind of seemed like you had that idea, like, that quick when you were coming up with the concepts. I was like, this sounds like something he's probably been in the works on.
Wait a minute, what was it he told us at NRA? The rule of shot club or show club is you don't talk about show club.
Show club. Well, I mean, we're not really talking about it. We're just talking about the concept of the gun.
Yeah, we're talking about kind of the reality behind that now.
Yeah.
I started the ZK, and it didn't really have a name at that point. It was just kind of a cool thing. But I started on a rimfire bullpup platform around 2007. Actually, Christmas Day of 2007.
That's a long time R&D.
Well, it kind of sat there because I started here at Red Jacket in around 2009, and then really got into the building of the stuff and deep into the prototyping of it in around 2011 or so.
Gotcha.
So it wasn't until then, so between 2007 2011, the ZK was pretty much a one-off item.
Yeah.
Something I'd bring out to the range and I'd shoot, and it's pretty cool. And it sat in the corner of my office, just kind of as a cool thing, because I'd had dreams of making the clamshell system, but I knew exactly what entailed that, and I didn't have the capabilities of doing that. Polymer molding is a far different world than making 1 or 10 or even 100 pieces out of metal or something of that nature. When you get into the polymer world, you got to start thinking about, all right, I got to sell 20,000 of these to pay for the mold, and then I can start making money. So it's always out of the realm. And then the show kind of developed, and Max came in, and we realized that after reading the books, because I've been a big fan of Max Brooks and all his books.
Yeah.
Reading the book, I knew the concepts that he had in there about what a everyman's zombie elimination tool was. And that's kind of the direction we went. We knew it had to be short, compact, easy to use, ergonomic, and 22 rimfire.
Yep.
Did they use it in the movie anywhere?
No, they did not.
Oh, man, that would have been so cool. I just now thought about that. I was like,
which movie?
World War Z.
It would have been.
Oh, that was him? I didn't know that. That would have been awesome.
Cool. Hell yeah. It totally would have been cool. We've got some prospects of it being in several other movies, some other cool action movies, because it is a really neat looking gun.
Oh, yeah. It takes the coolness factor that the P90 had when it came out, but then it actually made it functional.
Yeah.
It fits in the spy world, easily
Close quarters combat.
Quick action kind of stuff. So yeah, I could see it going in some movies coming up.
Now, before we actually started recording, we were talking about an FAL that you're about to sell, and then you kind of went into the details, and that's kind of going to touch on what your segment's going to be all about. It's going to be about the stuff that we're freaking clueless about.
Yeah.
And kind of tell us a little bit about that, the history of that FAL.
Well, the particular FAL that I'm talking about, or that we were talking about earlier, is an Argentine FAL, or an Argy FAL. And these FALs came in as kits quite some time ago, way before the barrel ban, 10, 14, maybe 15 years ago. They came in and they sat in customs because they wouldn't clear for some reason, paperwork issue. I don't think anybody really even knows except for the actual importer and customs. But they sat there for a while, and then they were released 4 years ago, right around the time that the barrel ban started hammering. So the only thing you could get was cut barrel kits. Well, these had original Argentine pristine, brand new barrels that come with the kits. And they were pristine, beautiful parts kits. So basically, you get your compliance parts, get a nice receiver, a Kunin or a DSA, and we built all these on the Kunin Argy receivers because at that time they realized that, hey, there's a market for this. So we ended up using those particular receivers on a lot of them. We built some as Paras, some as standard Argies, some as clones of just various different countries' FALs. And we went through quite a few of these. But it was a real cool find for them. To get something at the time that had an original barrel was tough to do.
Yeah.
Just even now, and just trying to find an original parts kit with an intact barrel is almost impossible these days.
Probably pretty expensive, too.
Yeah, an AK kit that you could get for $199 10 years ago with that original barrel would be minimum $700 to $1,200 today.
Yeah.
Wow.
No doubt.
And probably has exponentially increased just in the last 2 years.
Yeah, it's been a definite push, especially since the big panic of 2013.
Yeah.
And another thing that you're gonna be able to do is we get a lot of technical questions through our email, Facebook, all the time that we just can't answer, and we've thrown them out, and then we'll try to find a response for people. We threw out a thing on Facebook today. We got a question in from Dustin T, and he wanted to know how many rounds would you recommend putting through a 9mm with a captive recoil spring before replacing the spring? For example, my Walther PPS or say a Glock 26.
That's going to come down to a lot of the metallurgy and the design of the gun. How far is the spring within specs? Because springs have a certain lifetime, and it's variable on how hard you push it. Springs have a certain duty cycle. If you compress it to a quarter of its life, if you can compress it to a half of its length, it has a different duty life. If you can compress it down to where it's coil binding, then it has an exponentially smaller life. So it just depends on the particular aspect. And that's Charlie right here.
What's up, Charlie?
Charlie.
Oh, hey, dude, sorry to barge in,
That's Charlie.
That's okay. We'll forgive you this time. I'm surprised Zach hadn't done it on purpose yet.
He said he wasn't there, didn't he?
Oh, that's right. He's on a road trip.
Yeah.
Road trip.
And see, that's the kind of stuff that it blows my mind that we did not give Joe this question ahead of time. I just now pulled it up on Facebook, and he just rattled it off.
Had the answer right there.
Have you ever gotten the Rain Man of guns, but without the slow part?
So what are you trying to say? I'm not quite following you.
No, you've seen Rain Man, right?
I think he was trying to say you were a savant.
I'm saying you're incredibly intelligent when it comes to the subject of firearms. But I said without the slow part.
I don't know about that, but...
Unless you walk around going, Jomo, definitely Jomo.
There's 976 matches.
Then I feel guilty now.
I don't know. You talk to some of my employees, they might have that.
Or when Charlie drops a box of ammo, you go, oh, there's 348 rounds there. 348.
No, that would be Tommy T in Outdoors 9.
He just has no sense of direction.
Okay, gotcha.
Neither do I.
Everything else high IQ, but he walks in the walls.
He gets lost with driving. I
get distracted. I'll be on the phone, and I'll eventually get there. It may take me
a while,
a little longer.
Extra tank of gas.
And oftentimes I'll take the most bass-accurate way of getting somewhere, and I'm there before anybody else. Even before Charlie, because Charlie's car is slow.
Only because, I'm driving a tank currently, but you know what? When I had my car, it was, at least competitive.
I was going to ask if you were driving a Carmen Gia or something.
Carmen Gia.
I wish I had a Carmen Gia.
I wish I had a Volkswagen Fang.
Some of the best handling vehicles ever, actually.
Mm-hmm. Fun cars.
So I got a question for you, Joe.
Yeah.
And this kind of perplexes me as some of these, there's one in particular, firearm company that they've got this special process that they put their parts through that they don't require any lubrication.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about?
I'm lost.
I'm familiar with the concept of them.
Yeah. So what's the science behind that? How does that work?
Depends on the particular one, but there's kind of two basic concepts you can look at. Mm-hmm. One is that the materials are so slick and hard, they have a very, very hard surface finish, that there's very little friction and they work very well with. The other kind of concept is the coating has a lubricity. It's a self-lubricating function, whether it's graphite or Teflon or whatever the fun chemical of the day is.
Right. I could take that term in so many wrong directions, but I'm not going to.
Good.
I don't know. If you watched the show, and it was bad this past episode, I have a tendency of dropping multiple innuendos throughout them.
Welcome to the show. You fit in perfect.
Well, somebody's actually made a drinking game out of it.
Oh, really? How many innuendos you drop?
Yeah.
Nice.
Great. I might get drunk tonight.
And I don't intend to. It's not an intentional thing.
Not all the time.
Sometimes it's an intentional thing. Sometimes it's not.
So you're going to need to carry that over to this show.
I'm working on it.
There you go. There you go.
It's my first time. I'm a little nervous. So.
Nah, just roll with it, man.
Be gentle with him.
So on those manufacturers that use the lube, is that something that they kind of bake into the metal, or how do they do that?
It could be a baked-in system. It could be kind of like powder coating, an electro-applied thing, a negative charge, and it sucks to all the little crevices.
Yeah.
The problem with some of that is there's a line of sight issue on the inside of the rails of guns. Electrostatic coatings have to have a 100% line of sight. What that means is it has to have a straight path to the crevice. Well, if you think about a slide being off the gun and the slide rails,
mm-hmm.
There's no way to get to the inside bottom edge of that slide with electrostatic movement. So there's some limitations with that. There's some chemical baths that you can drop them in, which is like the nitriding,
mm-hmm.
black nitriding, and things like that. It's a excellent surface finish, and actually one of the ones I recommend. I really like the nitriding. NP3, all of those, they're good coatings, but the thing about it is a lot of people make the mistake of deciding, okay, I'm going to coat this gun, and every surface is going to have this coating on it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, different parts of the gun operate in different ways. Some parts get hot, some parts stay cold, so you need different tolerances. So if somebody actually sat down and thought about all the different coatings that are available and put them where they need to go, like maybe a higher temperature style on the barrel, something different on the rails, something else like Teflon on the magazine, inside the trigger guard and the fire control, you may have a low temp, very high slick stuff. You really could come up with a cool system. But I've seen a lot of issues with certain proprietary coatings, and they just get thrown at the gun. Like, I'm going to coat everything in the gun in this, and it looks cool and it works, but it doesn't work as 1,000% as it could be if there was some thought. You can look at that at some of the race engines, like Formula One and even NASCARs.
Yeah,
they got into a lot of the coatings, and they really have specialized coatings. The inside of the pistons will be one coating. The top of the piston will be one coating. The outside of the ring area will have a different coating. Then there's going to be coatings on the rods that shed oil.
Mm-hmm.
Coatings on the piston on the inside reflect heat. The coating on the inside of the piston absorbs heat. The coating on the outside of the piston carries oil. So there you got 4 different coatings, 4 different concepts, and they each go to increase horsepower by 2 or 3 horsepower on a 5 horsepower motor.
Right.
On a 5 horsepower motor.
So if somebody put that same philosophy towards a firearm, then they could have something.
It's an incremental thing.
But when you have infinite amounts of money to throw something at, like NASCAR teams do, you can pull that kind of thing off.
Well, and the reason I was asking that was there are some manufacturers out there that claim that their product aftermarket, you can put it on firearms and it'll do similar type things. So I was wondering that is it plausible that you could take a lubricant and apply it to let's say your barrel, and then whether through firing the weapon several times and reapplying the lubricant, or actually heating the barrel up while the material's on there, is that a plausible way to do it as well?
I've looked at a lot of these. I mean, there's a lot of different ones out there, and the lubrication industry is one of the most interesting and cutthroat places I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody. It's almost a snake oil business.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're looking at, like I said, you're looking at certain concepts for things, and a lot of these natural lubricants that they're putting on, the concepts behind there are absolutely 100% correct. The products that they're using, great idea. It may or may not have to be tweaked in certain areas. A lot of them are going behind the theory of polymerization, and it's getting that very hard layer of self-lubricating whatever. And a lot of times you got to put you got a
hard layer of self-lubricating. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. See, all right, is that my first innuendo?
Yes.
Yes.
I just took a shot.
Drink.
So this coating will build up, but it may need a very high temperature. It may need high pressure. It's kind of like a diamond, and you can only get diamonds one way: high heat and high pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, the only way you can get some of these compounds to get to the polymerized, or whatever that particular tense of
Polymerization.
Polymerase.
Yep, all about just depending on what tense you're looking for.
Pick a word.
But you got to have a certain amount of chemical pressure and chemical heat to do it. And I'm kind of not convinced that you can do that in the real world of just shooting a gun.
Yeah.
Without taking it and doing some kind of baking process or chemical treating. I'm not 100% convinced that you get 100% of the stated benefits.
Right.
Gotcha.
And that's kind of my thoughts behind that too.
But there are some that have a pretty cool recommendation of their treatment procedure, and it makes sense. And some people live by it. We get lubricants passed through here every day, and I'm not shitting you on that.
No, not.
I can imagine.
We've got a whole box over here with all the different crap we get.
I can imagine the level that you guys get stuff sent to you.
They all pretty much work fairly well.
But if it comes down to it, I use 30 weight.
Yeah, you know what I use when I gotta go buy oil, and I haven't had to buy oil in probably 10 years. I've got a quart of Mobil One synthetic that I use.
Ding, 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 ding. And
So-
a lot
so
of
when it
those
just-
companies, that's what that is.
When it just comes down to it, you'd put the Mobil One on your gun, huh?
Heck yeah.
Yep. Well, I do like the up and coming, not natural, but the safer stuff.
Yeah.
There is one of the more natural ones, though, that if anybody's caught spraying it in the shop, we will fire them because it doesn't like the smell.
God.
What does it smell like?
Like wet dog. Some people love the smell of it. It's kind of like the asparagus thing.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Some people can't smell it. Well, I'm not one of them people.
Brussels
when
sprout.
you take a piss the next day.
I do appreciate.
It strips cosmoline like nobody else's does. It's Balistol.
Oh, Ballstar, yeah.
That's what you need for your
and I
Mosin.
appreciate it for what it does, but I'll be damned if somebody does it inside in my shop.
Stanky, huh?
You will not like Hickok 45's place then, because his whole compound smells like Ballistol.
Take that shit outside.
A lot of
It
match.
works.
Well, there's something to be said for that. Mm-hmm. I don't know. What are you working on?
Something you're playing with something.
Yeah, well, we got a real cool delivery from one of our partners, Keltec CNC, and I just as we're talking, I'm just playing around with it and getting familiarization with where things are on it. And
Ideas coming up as you play with it.
Is it the full auto?
basically just playing with it.
Full auto
I
RDB?
got a PMR 30
Mm.
that I'm working with, and it's a really, really neat gun. It's got a little weird point because I'm used to pointing Glocks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got a straight grip action, so I'm trying to overcome that. And then we've got one of the 13.7-inch Keltec KSGs. We're doing some stuff with those.
So, what do you have new going on? I know you were telling me something at NRA about your Mojo binary targets.
Yeah, we've had the exploding binary targets out for a while now, and they're available. Academy carries them, available on the website. But it's really cool because I like shooting, and I'm a big fan of positive reinforcement.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you shoot and you hit what you're supposed to be shooting at, and you get a big boom, how much more positive reinforcement can you get?
You're not into big booms at all, are you?
No.
We've actually used your product on a couple of our videos.
We didn't even know it.
Well, I knew it. He didn't.
I didn't know it.
It's great stuff. And there's some other competing products out there, but we really pride ourselves in using the best of the best that's out there. We double bag everything because the materials that you are
drink number 2.
it's hygroscopic, so it absorbs moisture. So you got to really protect it from moisture, protect it from heat. So double bag, double packaged,
double bag it. That's the way I always used to roll when I was
very high quality products. Very, very high quality H2O.
High quality H2O.
Quality H2O.
It's so fitting that y'all are in southern Louisiana with that one.
You know where that wasn't even filmed in Louisiana.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I hate it when they do that.
Let's consult the all-knowing. I'm thinking it was
Don't tell me
Alabama.
it was California.
It had to be somewhere with swamps. I bet you it was Alabama. It's kind of like there was something that was
I think it was
supposed.
Florida, actually.
May have been.
Very good, Charlie.
It was Florida.
Central Florida, Orlando area.
There was something else recently that was supposed to be based in Tennessee that they filmed all in Atlanta. And I was like, wait a minute. I can't remember what it was.
They were talking about moving the Nashville TV show to Texas.
Are they going to rename it Dallas?
Something.
No, they're still going to call it Nashville.
Oh, Lord.
It's back in Nashville.
Well, we see a lot of that because the movie and film industry is getting so big here in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
We get to see some really cool stuff. We were in the middle of California, in the middle of Baton Rouge, about 4 or 5 weeks ago. There's a restaurant called Superior Grill, and it's a Mexican restaurant, really, really nice Mexican restaurant. Best margaritas you can imagine. Great flank steak, too.
So that'd be a good place to watch Sons of Guns, then, if they got the good margaritas. And watch for your innuendos.
I don't know if they have the TVs there.
Oh, okay.
Most of the staff's big fans of the show, so it's kind of...
we drink when you make innuendo.
Good breakfast. But we were there. We were at the table, and a water truck. You know the water trucks that spray dirt roads?
Yeah.
To keep the dust down?
Uh-huh.
Well, a water truck goes by. And I watch it go by, and it's kind of thinking in my head, like, what in the hell are they doing, and why are they spraying the road? And it comes back again. And at that point, I'm going, what the hell's going on? So I walk outside, and I see a PA standing,
production
assistant.
Uh-huh.
Sorry for the in lingo speak.
That's all right. We're YouTube. We don't have those.
And you can spot them from 10 miles away.
In a crowd of people, you can look and say, that dude's a PA.
And some of the accoutrement that come with a PA is a clipboard, a radio, and a pair of big-ass sunglasses, and a pissed-off demeanor. Because those are the poor guys that have to deal with the public to let the public know that, no, you can't go down this road right now.
Right.
What, are you, a cop? No, ma'am, I'm not a cop. Well, you can't tell me what to do, so you can imagine the demeanor that these poor guys gain when they have to deal with that. But anyway, it turns out that there's some teeny bopper Disney movie that's set in Beverly Hills, California. There's a car chase going down Government Street in the middle of Baton Rouge at 5:30 at night. 5:30. You know what Baton Rouge traffic looks like at 5:30?
It's not pretty.
Gridlock.
They call it a parking lot.
This is one of the main drags through Baton Rouge is the Government Street.
And they're doing a shoot.
And they were doing a film and shoot. And this was set in the middle of Beverly Hills with a little, I think it was like a Chevy Leaf. Who makes the Leaf?
Nissan. Nissan makes the Leaf.
Yeah, some little electric hybrid type thing.
Because those are real good for car chases.
Yeah. And the instant I knew it, I knew that was the good guys, because the bad guys came in 3 cars, and tell me what they were.
Probably a Camaro or a Charger.
No, almost.
No,
Challenger?
No,
they got to be another hybrids.
not a cool car.
Oh, not a cool car.
Probably that
Cool,
cube,
but-
that cube car.
All right, let's start with the color. What color was it?
It was black.
It was black.
Uh-huh.
All right. Now, where'd all bad guys come from?
Afghanistan,
Close.
China, Japan,
What?
Oh, come on.
Mexico.
Germany.
Oh,
Germany.
BMWs.
Yeah, Germany. Actually, these were Mercedes.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So
you
around
s-
the corner came 3 big 4-door Mercedes chasing
Leaf.
this pastel Leaf.
Pastel.
And the roads were wet, so they could do like the slides and skids and turns. And it was so funny. The Leaf couldn't break tires on wet pavement.
That's awesome. There were some geniuses behind that scene.
You bring the shotgun?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. You don't want to keep them overnight or anything?
I'll come and get them over there.
Oh, you suck. Means I gotta put them overnight.
We'll keep them overnight for you.
And not these.
We'll store anything you
I
need.
gotta bounce.
All right. Nice to meet you, Charlie.
See, Charlie.
Charlie's go play daddy.
Now, you're talking about TV shows or movies in Louisiana. Was True Detective, was it filmed there?
I don't know.
Oh, that was an awesome series. Have you seen it yet?
No.
Oh, my
You'd
God.
like it. Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson.
On HBO.
True Detective.
It's a series?
Yes. It was only, 7 or 8 episodes long?
Well, they're kind of leading in like they're going to do another series.
Well,
another
they're
season.
they're going to have
Well,
different
the True
seasons.
Detectives,
Yeah.
2014 to still current.
Well,
Yeah.
they're going to have different seasons, but it's not going to be the same characters each season. The writer,
Okay.
it's a writer of a book, and he's going to have different characters each season. But the first one was McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. It was awesome.
And they did film part of Waterboy in Louisiana.
Did they? Did you look that up?
Yeah.
Oh,
How much?
It doesn't say what percentage. It just says film locations, and Louisiana is one of them. But the majority of it was done in Florida.
Yeah.
Lakeland, Orlando, that area. Citrus Bowl, obviously.
gotcha.
Huh.
Now,
That's cool.
with Red Jacket, it's hilarious because we did a video with you guys, as a lot of our listeners have seen it. We got more trolls off of that than we ever did with any Jaeger stuff. Y'all have surpassed the Jaeger trolls.
Jaeger came and shot some videos with us,
Uh-huh.
and he's used to that. And then when he responded, it's like about 2 weeks later, it's like, man, I don't understand. Y'all got more haters than I do. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, so since we're talking about this, let's do our jackwagon of the week.
Oh, do we have one?
Yeah, I've got
Okay.
a category.
Take it away, Arlie Ermy.
Hoorah, Semper Fi, do or die, hold 'em high at 8th and I. It is time for the talking lead jackwagon of the week, so brace yourself, baby.
All right, so we made a post on our Facebook page a few days ago, and when we were at Maximus Arms,
Uh-huh.
and I did a selfie with us and them in the background, and they were pointing the guns
At the camera.
at the general direction of the camera. Okay, so we had a couple of people. We didn't have many. I mean, it was just a couple of people,
Right.
a couple of trolls, like we like to call them, that were getting in a hissy over them pointing their guns at someone. They're like, isn't it proper safety not to point the gun at a cameraman? Well, as you can clearly see in the photo, I'm in the photo
And the camera was taller than I am, so...
because I was reaching up. And there was nobody behind the camera or anywhere in that general direction. So use some common sense before you get on there and start slamming, our gun safety etiquette. Another thing is,
You seem a little hot about that.
well, I think it's ridiculous. I mean, seriously.
Haters gonna hate.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, and let them hate.
I don't let it bother me.
Yeah, well, I got to get it off my
But
chest.
you know why? Because
Because
we get all these scathing
you're Joe
remarks,
Mo.
blah, blah, blah. But they're still watching the show.
Exactly. And with YouTube, what these trolls don't realize is every time they comment and then one of our fans attacks them and they comment back, each one of those is a new view for us.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like, please keep it coming.
So here's another one. I posted this one earlier today.
You just gave me 6 cents.
Thank you. Hey, actually, it's like 0.06 cents. So.
Oh, whenever you get to like some real good ratings and viewers.
Oh.
We'll get there. We're getting there.
We're getting there.
But I posted another one today. It was one of Carnicon's photos that he had posted. I reposted it. It was a classic photo of his Freedom America Ale and sniper training. So there are a couple of firearms laying on the ground with a bunch of empty bottles, which are to represent his Freedom Ale, I guess.
Freedom American Ale, made with bald eagle piss.
Freedom American Ale made with bald eagle piss. So we get a couple of people that make a post on there. One says, which this is a good post, says shoot, then drink, don't drink, then shoot. Okay, that's fine. Got no problem with that. But then there's this other guy that posts one that says, stop posting alcohol and firearms in the same picture. I don't get that. You've got 2 unmanned firearms laying there, and you've got empty bottles laying around. So
it's like Ghostbusters, man.
They're just automatically assuming
don't cross the streams.
Exactly. I mean, you got to have something to shoot at. So, I mean, those could very well be targets. But anyway, there's inanimate objects sitting in the picture. Not doing anything to anybody, that can't do anything to anybody. There's no live bodies around there. And then you got this jackwagon complaining about a gun and an empty bottle being in the same picture.
And all our fans and listeners know this. We do not recommend drinking and having firearms at the same time. In fact, when we go to shoots and there's alcohol involved, there's a beer lamp that's turned on. Once that lamp's turned on, you lock up your firearms, everything goes away, and we do it the safe and
it just
way.
Don't happen.
No.
You don't drink and use firearms.
Like Carnicon's video say at the beginning of it, this is for parody and comedy purposes only. If you can't handle that, please do not watch.
Right. So just so you know, you trolls, when you start making those posts on our site, I'm blocking you. So
are you blocking them?
Yeah.
One of the guys introduced me to Carnicon fairly recently, within the last couple months.
Is awesome, isn't he?
It's hilarious, man.
We're going to do a big shoot with him in July. Dugan Ashley. So next week is going to be kind of this was the introduction, but next week's going to be the first Mojo's Minutes
so you guys
Magnificent Mojo.
Yeah, you guys start sending in your technical questions.
Well, next week is not going to be questions. Next week, Joe is actually going to be at the Bianchi Cup. And he is going to kind of do a man on the street kind of thing.
Very cool.
So
now you're doing some shooting yourself, aren't you, Joe?
Yeah, I will be shooting in the Bianchi Cup. I was invited in something I'd always looked at the Bianchi Cup because I was like earlier in the interview we were talking about precision shooting. I mean, that's kind of my passion. That's the aspect I really like at it. And one of the first events I ever did was bullseye pistol shooting. So the Bianchi Cup's kind of like bullseye with some really cool draws and some really badass targets.
Yeah. So
I'm really excited about going.
What gun are you going to use?
I'm going to use some Glock-based guns. I'm a big fan of that.
Based. So you've done some mods to them, huh?
Yeah, Bobby Carver out of Florida has really been helpful with some of the direction on that. I've got 3 guns that I'm going to bring, and I'm going to shoot 2 of them there. I'm going to shoot a Glock 34 in production. I built a metallic gun that I'll shoot in metallic, and then I have an open-based Glock, which is a 17 with a compensator and a red dot. And we mount red dots, the Vortex Razor red dots on Glock slides and 1911s and things all the time.
Nice.
So I mounted one on this 17 slide and I sent it over to Bobby because I mean he's a Glock specialist. So I sent it over there and he did some tweaking and some tuning, some great fire control springs and some movement with that. The recoil assembly. Fitted a nice KKM barrel, Dawson precision sights on the metallic and production gun. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. This past weekend, I went and shot my first practice match, and I was really happy. I actually shot fairly well. I'm kind of excited about it.
Yeah, I saw that post on Facebook. How are your fundamentals coming along? You got somebody coaching you on that?
Not really. I've been an instructor for years, So I can kind of pound fundamentals in on myself. My problem is
drink number 3, by the way, pounding fundamentals.
Yep. Since I'm going to be shooting 2 guns, I'm having a little bit of trouble breaking the habit, because when you shoot red dots, you lose that front sight focus.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something you have to have when you're shooting an iron sight gun. If you're not focusing on the front sight, your bullets are not going to hit where they need to go. I mean, the front sight, it's the furthest part of the gun. It's the last area of the gun that the bullet exits. So that's where the bullet's going. So if your front sight is not focused and on target, it's not going to hit. So shooting a red dot and going back and forth between metallic sights has been a little bit of a challenge. And I may just go ahead and shoot the whole thing, because I'll be shooting at least 2 different events, and I may be shooting the aggregate 2. And I'm probably going to make a decision and shoot just open or shoot just irons. I haven't quite made that decision just yet.
Yeah. Well, that'll be cool, man. That'll be a good time.
Heck yeah.
And we're looking forward to the Man on the Street review.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is my first time out, so it's going to be kind of like a Man on the Street's first time around.
Perfect. Man on the street popping his cherry.
There you go. That's what it is.
Yep.
So if people want to go and buy Red Jacket products or follow you guys on Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff, how do they do all that?
Well, you can go to redjacketfirearms.com, and it pretty much links you to everything. You can get Red Jacket gear through there, any of our suppressors, our firearms. Our email address is there if you have a real cool custom build you're thinking about, or some customization on a firearm. Exploding targets, all of our reactive targets. We have steels, flipping steel targets.
What's the wait time on a ZK?
Right now, ZK is pretty significant. We're about 7 months or so behind right now, but we do have a big production run that's in the works now, and there's a possibility I'll be flying from the Bianchi Cup straight to
Nashville.
Straight to our mold house to look at a new prototype mold.
Oh, okay.
What's the wait time if some YouTube channel decides to drive to Baton Rouge and shoot some videos of it?
Well, we do have blems in stock, and we have some hydro dip versions based on some of the ones that haven't been on order.
Perfect.
Cool.
You got to come into the shop in Baton Rouge to get any of that there.
Yeah. So guys, get your orders in now to get them by Christmas.
Good. Look at you using a calendar.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
Well, hopefully in about another 2 months, we're going to be current. So,
and that's
right now we're about 7.5 months behind. Once we get the new production batch in, we're going to run through that pretty quickly.
Sweet.
Yeah, I can imagine those will fly off the shelves.
And we want to thank our sponsors. Got a couple new ones. Cantu Bruner Designs, CantuBrunerDesigns.com is going to test out a little advertising buy-in with us.
Nice.
Make sure you check them out. Also, Savoy Leather. We want to thank them for everything they've done.
Not Savoy.
Not Savoy.
Savoy.
Another Cajun.
Yeah.
Savoy.
Does some awesome work. Just go to SavoyLeather.com and
fabulous leather work.
Use the code TalkingLead to get a discount there.
Still loving my Savoy kind of zombie Masonic holster that I've got for my Glock 23.
Nice.
Loving that. And then 1776 United.
1776. We actually have 3 new sponsors when you think about it. 1776 United, we just partnered up to do the shirts with them. If you go to their website, 1776united.com, you can buy all of our Talking Lead merchandise there. They're going to be coming out with patches, hats, everything. But right now it's just shirts.
Have we got our shirts up yet?
Yep, shirts are up.
So they can go get our shirts
now.
They can
go get our shirts now.
1776united.com.
Yep, comfortable stuff.
And they're providing our race shirts for the Tough Mudder.
Yep, doing the Tough Mudder in June.
First of next month.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming up.
And also, as always, ICE Training. ICEtraining.us, Rob Pincus, and Personal Defense Network.
And I just went there for a little training last week.
Yep.
Got some good training in. Holder & Green Professional Real Estate Services, HG Press, for all your Middle Tennessee real estate needs. Give those guys and gals a call. Very gun-friendly and very real estate knowledgeable.
And their number?
Their number is 1-800-615-1840, extension 2222, or you can call direct 615-881-1684.
And Holder and Green, along with another sponsor of ours who have been with us since the beginning, All or Nothing Tattoo Studios, the most award-winning studio in the world.
Tattoos.
allornothingtattoo.com, and their very gun-friendly merchandise store, strangleholdmerch.com. Joe, thanks for coming on, man. We appreciate it.
Oh, no problem, guys. Anytime. Hey, I'll mention a 17th.
Yeah.
That 1776 stuff. Man, that is the coolest shirt. I get more comments. There's one with the Gadsden on it. I get a lot of comments on that one.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
But I like wearing it because they're really soft and
they're comfortable. Yeah, that's one of the reasons we went with them.
Yeah.
That's some good stuff.
And I want to thank Argo J for sending me one of his shirts. I've got an Argo J shirt on today that I'm rocking.
If y'all don't watch his YouTube channel, make sure you go to YouTube/ArgoJ, AAARGOJ.
Argo.
And as always, left hand, keep your loved ones close.
And keep your firearms closer.